Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles which appear in our today's newspaper. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see the articles and we are going to analyze in almost all dimensions case. Okay, let us see the first article, see the title. "23 killed in aerial strike in Pakistan's border province." So what is this article talking about? This article is talking about something related to Pakistan, right? Especially what is this article is Pakistan started some air strikes in Afghanistan Pakistan border and they attacked some terrorist groups, and actually they targeted terrorist groups but they killed civilians. So that is about this article, guys. Okay, so now what you have to say is, so this article is talking about Pakistan Air Force attacked group called as TTP, and because of this civilians deaths, that led to civilian deaths. So what you have to see, guys, first of all you have to see Afghanistan Pakistan border, and you have to see the areas which are dominated by terrorist organizations, and even you have to see different terror outfits or terror organizations names, and even you have to see when they formed and what is their aim, why and when they formed. And next you have to see, because of this air strikes now the civilian deaths happened, so what is the impact of this. And apart from that you have to see how this is going to affect even India. So do we share border with Pakistan? Yes. With Afghanistan? Yes. But on map it comes under POK, that is Pak occupied Kashmir, but on map we are sharing boundary with Afghanistan. And India is having its own interest in Afghanistan, right? So because of this attack will be impacting India's interest in Afghanistan. And recently, what is the update regarding Pakistan? With which country it signed this deal? Okay, recently Pakistan signed agreement with Saudi Arabia. If Afghanistan is doing any retaliation on Pakistan, Saudi will also enter here, and India is having lots of developmental projects in this Afghanistan, and even Indian diaspora is present in Afghanistan. So it is having impact on India for sure, guys. Okay, so now you have to see map where exactly this attack happened, and you have to see about what is this TTP and when it was formed and what are the aims of this terror organization. And next you have to see about what is the impact now, that is immediate impact. And next you have to see what is impact on India, and is there any impact of this recent defense agreement between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia because of this attack. Okay, all these dimensions that you have to see. So now you guys tell me, this Afghanistan is under control of Taliban's. So because of this, Taliban's came into power in Afghanistan. Even that also altered India's and Afghanistan relation as well. So you are having like all-time low relations with Afghanistan now. Okay, and even between this Pakistan and Afghanistan, terror attacks will go on. Okay, it is like a regular phenomena. And now Pakistan targeted this TTP, but there around 23 civilians they were killed. And even in that civilians, women are there and children are also there here. Okay, now this article is important from your GS paper 2 under international relations. And even you have to see about this border of India, Afghanistan, like that. So it is also very important from your GS paper 1 and geography. So especially in 2020 UPSC prelims, there was a question. Which of the following countries sharing boundary with Afghanistan? Okay, so here, if there is any country which is in news, you have to see even about those countries which are sharing boundary with that country as well. So while you are reading your current affairs, please keep your atlas beside you and try to find out the countries which are there in news. So actually in our today's newspaper, there are two countries in news. First one is Afghanistan, second one is Morocco. Okay, we have to see those bordering countries as well. Okay, now let us see the context. So Pakistan Air Force conducted a series of air strikes. What are these air strikes? They used missiles and they dropped this warheads, right? So here they conducted series of air strikes in remote Tira Valley of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, that is KP province. So have you heard this Khyber in your history anywhere? Where did you come across this Khyber Pass? In ancient history, after Vedic period, you will be coming across this. Hindu Kush mountains. So Aryans entered into India through this Khyber Pass. Yes. So actually we have Himalayas in the northwards. They are acting as a barriers. No one can enter India from this northwards. So because of this from west, especially from northwest to this Khyber Pass, so this foreign invasions happened, right? So that is the importance of this Khyber. And in this Khyber area now, Pakistan attacked this TTP. Okay, so like that, when you come across that word in your syllabus, you have to connect it where, why. Okay, and this region is very important, which changed our Indian history, guys. So why this series of invasions happened? So because of this Khyber Pass. So now here in this area, yes, this attack happened. And actually it is a province with rugged mountainous regions in northwestern Pakistan along with Afghan border. So actually in these strikes, they used which weapons? China made JF-17 Thunder fighter jets. So again they used which country's weapons here? China. So again China is also involved in this. Okay. And they dropped around 8 laser guided precision munitions. Munitions is nothing but warheads on suspected compound used by this Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. The organization of terror here is TTP. The full form here is Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, and they are also known as Pakistani Talibans. So on this group, they used this Chinese fighter jets and they used 18 laser guided precision warheads in that regions. But that led to killings or loss of life of 23 civilians now. So if you see that location, where exactly is this is? Okay, so this is our country. I think it is not that much clear. So this is our country, right? Here we have China and this is Pakistan, here like this. So here in this region, we have this Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region. Okay, this entirely we have this color part is Pakistan, guys. And here we have Sindh, Balochistan, other province, especially in this region where we have this is Afghanistan. So this is Afghanistan. So here in this Afghanistan region, especially in this border, that is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region, so this Pakistan attacked this region on this TTPs. Okay, so it is nothing but the border region of Pakistan and Afghanistan region. So this is Khyber region. And if you see the details, this strike destroyed around 4 houses and killing around 23 to 30 people, including 7 women and 4 children, guys. And most of these victims are not terrorists, they are civilians. Civilians are nothing but common people. So this operation, why this operation was done by this Pakistan, it want to disrupt TTP's escalating attacks. And also certain intelligence reports of Pakistan says that these TTPs are residing in this region and they want to strike this because in that region, these terrorists, they are co-living with the civilians and they are producing IEDs. What is this IEDs? IEDs. What is the full form? Improvised explosive devices. They are nothing but bombs. So normally Naxalites will be using that IEDs, right? So if you see many movies, they will be going for keeping of this IEDs in the ground. If you keep leg on that, if you remove that, it will the blast, right? So they are called as IEDs. So actually there are some Pakistan intelligence reports, they are saying that this TTP people, they are residing in this region along with the civilians and they are making these IEDs. And actually Pakistani Air Force landmines, and even in that they will be keeping IEDs. Okay, so that vessel is called as landmine. In that, whatever the explosive things they will make, that will be called as IEDs. Okay. And Pakistan accuses this Afghan Taliban of sheltering these TTPs, and they claim that Kabul is denying that. Kabul is nothing but Afghanistan's capital, right? So actually, this intelligence reports are saying that Afghanistan is ignoring that people, and Pakistan wants to counter them. So because of this, they did this attack. And actually, what will be the impact now? So this strikes which mainly increase the risk of in Pakistan Afghanistan border tensions because they kill their civilians. So obviously what happens? There will be increasing of escalations. So recently in India what happened? Pahalgam issue. So terrorists came and they killed our Indians. Did we be silent? What did we do? Yes, Operation Sindhu. In the same way now, the escalations between Pakistan and Afghanistan can rise. So Afghanistan can do any retaliation attack on Pakistan now. And this one is India. What is the opportunity for India? So India always try to see that whether we'll get any chance to focus on Pakistan that they are doing terror activities. Yes, now we got one evidence that yes, we can criticize Pakistan's terrorism policies because it is violating human rights. It is killing normal civilians. So we can showcase this incident in different international organizations. And this one is who is supplier of these jets to Pakistan? Again, China. So China is a supplier of the jets which faces indirect pressure. Because of this supply of this equipments to China, Pakistan did this. So indirectly, there is also increased pressure on China regarding supply of weapons to other countries. Now there might be restrictions increased on China to export this kind of weapons to Pakistan. Yeah, that's it. And actually, if they are having repeated strikes along this Pakistan and Afghanistan border, it may lead to South Asia's instability also. Okay. And who is this TTP? You have to know this. Full form is Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. They're also called as Pakistani Taliban. And they are a militant group formed in year 2007. And it is an umbrella for various anti-Pakistan Islamist factions. So actually, this group wants to spread Islam. Okay, and they are mainly seen in this Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in this area, and even they will be seen in this FATA, that is federally administered tribal areas along this Afghanistan-Pakistan border. So actually they emerged after this 9/11 attacks. Okay, and actually they were influenced by Afghan Taliban and as well as Al Qaeda. And actually, what is their important motto? They want to overthrow other religions and they want to establish Sharia law. That is nothing but they want to spread Islam. So that is the main motto of this TTP. Okay, let us see the next article. See the title: Death of 9 bonnet macaques in Kerala. Kerala capital raises poisoning fears. So this article is talking about macaques. So especially anthropology students, you will be having this topic called as old world monkeys and new world monkeys. So actually macaque belongs to old world monkeys. So if there is any death of that kind of incidents which are there in news, yes, you have to know about that. Because from anthropology point of view also there is a scope of adding current affairs, guys. And from environment and ecology point of view, if there is any animal or plant in news, that will be again important. Okay, so this article is talking about one important animal species, that is bonnet macaque. And what happened here is 9 macaques died in Kerala capital region. And actually the thing why it is very important, because so whenever we are examining this dead bodies of this monkeys, so we can find like what is that? They died because of poison. Especially there is a presence of foam and froth around around the mouths of these monkeys. So normally you know that whenever a person who died because of snake bite, we can see this froth and this foam will be coming from the mouth, right? In the same way, for all these 9 monkeys, they got this foam and as well as froth. So when this foam and froth will come from the mouth, whenever there is any incidence of poisoning, right? So actually the recently what happened here is Kerala government came up with one change in Protection of Wildlife Act of Kerala. States governments act, they came up with the change and they now classified this macaques as vermin. So if we are keeping any animal under this category of vermin, we can kill them by culling them. What is the meaning of culling? Just simply twist the neck so that they'll die. Okay, so because of this recent change now, here human animal conflict is increasing, and there is a suspicion that humans are giving poisons to this monkeys. So because of this, what happens? The monkey population will be decreasing and it will lead to ecological imbalance, right? So now it is one cause of concern. Now we have to see what are the steps we can take to save this monkey's case. Okay, this article is very important from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. Especially we can add this article under human animal conflict. So whenever you're writing about human animal conflict, you can see about the deaths of humans because of tiger attack or elephant attacks. And even now you can add this monkey human conflict which led to the loss of 9 bonnet monkeys in Kerala. So in that way you can add these examples that you can see in the news. Okay, now let us see the context, guys. Title says 9 bonnet macaques were found dead near checkpost in Pallod Forest Range in Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram. So what is the impact of this? So actually this bonnet macaques, they had been listed under vulnerable in this IUCN Red List. What is meaning of vulnerable? Their population is decreasing. Okay, and they are also facing lots of threats from habitat fragmentation, poaching. What is this poaching? Killing of animals for their body parts, and they'll do illegal trade. And if poisoning is confirmed, toxins could harm the predators or contaminate water sources, threatening this Pallod's biodiversity. If actually the investigation saying that yes, this might have happened. So what happens whenever the dead bodies are there in the forest? Who will come and feed on them? Vultures, yes. They are called as scavengers of our ecosystem. So what happens, this pesticide, if it is there in that body of monkey, obviously it will enter into the next food chain, next level. That will lead to the loss of life of another predator. And after that, what happens if they died and if there is now we are in monsoon season, heavy rainfall. So what happens? This decomposed body will also have this evidence of pesticide that will go into the nearby water body. Water body is very, very important. Every animal will comes to the nearby water body to drink the water. Again, that pesticide will enter into the next organism or next animal. So because of that, entire marine biodiversity and as well as terrestrial biodiversity is under stake now in that region. So that is one important cause of concern. If there is a poisonous materials which have been confirmed in that bodies of that so and so macaques, then it will be having complete threat on that entire biodiversity of that so and so forest range. Clear? Because one animal is dependent on another animal. Yes or no? So here that concept is called as biomagnification and bioaccumulation. Biomagnification is nothing but it will be transferred to one animal to another animal. Okay. Yeah, and even especially tribal people, they depend on this wildlife for their food, and even these toxic materials will also enter into the body of humans, and again that may also leads to the loss of life of humans. Okay, next one here is the deaths have fueled public anger with locals demanding action against illegal poisoning, and even animal rights activists, environmentalists, they're also doing protests now. So what is the reason behind it? So tell the exact reason, everything. Okay. And actually there are debates which are going on regarding this conservation of animals. And this one here is Kerala's escalating wildlife conflict which worsened by climate driven habitat shift. And not only that, humans are also the important reason. Because of this, the habitat fragmentation is happening that led to increased human animal conflicts. And even because of this kind of events, then what happens in the different states, there is spreading of false news, misinformation. What happens? And Kerala's economy is majorly depend on tourism, so it will also affect the tourism economy of Kerala. Okay. Yeah, now let us see some facts regarding this macaques. It is an old world monkey and they are mainly seen in southern India, and they are seen in especially habitats like evergreen and dry deciduous forest of Western Ghats. And they can be seen in urban areas, suburban areas. What is suburban areas? Transition between urban and rural areas. and even in agriculture areas also we can see these monkeys. And if you see the lifespan and reproduction, so they live in multi-male and multi-female groups. So in primates we discussed about different types based on their habitations, right? So one male monkey, several female monkeys. They will live in groups. Can you recall that classification? So again you can add this monkey there or macaque there. So they live in multi-male and multi-female groups. And females mature by 3 years and they gave birth at 4 years. And what is the gestation period? Around 24 weeks. 24 weeks of gestation period for a monkey. 24 weeks means how many months? 5.5 to 6 months is the gestation period. What is the gestation period for human? 9 months. Okay. So it is less than to the human. And actually infants, they will nurse for 6 to 7 months. How many years normally human will be nursing their baby? At least 1 year, minimum 1 year. So they are nursing for 6 to 7 months. Okay. And they will stay close to their mothers about 1 year. So till 1 year they will be attaching to the backs of their mothers like that, belly like that. And if you see the behavior, they're arboreal. Arboreal means that they spend their time mostly on the trees. Arboreal adaptations, terrestrial adaptations, everything that you have to recall, guys. Okay, and they are terrestrial quadrupeds. Quadrupeds means nothing but they will walk on 4 legs and they are active during day, and their group will be around 30. 30 monkeys will be living in a group. So if you are saying this macaques, don't hurt them or don't tease them. If all will come means you can imagine where you are. Okay. And next one is communication. So they will mainly communicate by visual things like clicking, and they will be also having vocal communications, and they also have alarm calls to signal predators, and they can also recognize alarm calls for sympatric primates like human langurs, lion-tailed macaws. If others will come into their area, they will try to signal the other monkeys and they will try to active or they will try to warn them. So they are called as warn signals or alarm signals. Okay, now let us see the next article. See the title, guys. India and Morocco signed defense cooperation memorandum of understanding to boost strategic alliance. So what is article talking about, guys? India-Morocco relations. Now guys tell me, where is this Morocco located? In which continent? Africa, very good. So this article is talking about India-Morocco relations. So this topic is important from international relations from GS paper 2. So first thing that you have to do whenever there is any countries in use is open your atlas and see map. So which are the nearby countries sharing boundary, and if there are any water bodies, you have to see what are those water bodies. Okay, that is the first thing. And next one is you have to see about areas of cooperation. So in which areas we and that country is having cooperation, see that. And next one here is, now why it is in news? Why does India-Morocco is in news? And next you have to see what are the advantages. So if you are having relationship with anyone, they have their own mutual interest. Without gains, will not do even friendship with anyone, right? It is our human psychology. So if we get something, then only we'll do friendship also. So in the same way, so why India is going to Morocco? Why India is going to sign this? So what are the advantages that we get? That thing that you have to see. So remember one thing, nothing will be like free relations in this present. So if someone is coming to you, inside there will be some intent. With that intent only you will be coming to you guys. So remember that. There will be no free giving relationships in this present thing. And love is also like that only. So they will be expecting something. If you don't have that thing, that love will be gone. Okay. So because of that reason only, there is increasing of breakups and even divorce rate in India. That is a fact. I will tell only facts which is happening. Okay. So here you have to see about what are the advantages that we can have because of this agreement now. And next, you have to see whether we have any challenges between India and that country, and you have to think about way forward. So if you cover all these areas, you can write whatever the question which comes in the paper regarding this India-Morocco relations from both prelims and as well as mains. And okay, let us see. So here this article is saying that India-Morocco signed a defense cooperation memorandum of understanding by our defense minister. Okay, and actually this agreement, which is mainly focusing on improving of our bilateral ties by increasing training, we want to come up with more joint exercises, and we want to improve cyber security and as well as counter-terrorism operations, and even we are focusing on manufacturing of our defense through defense industry collaboration. So these are the areas that we are focusing. And if you see the map, it is in Africa. So this green colored part is Morocco, guys. And here, is it sharing any bond with the water bodies? Yes, of course. So because of this, it is very, very important for India's trade. So here it is sharing bond with Atlantic Ocean on one side, and even here we have Mediterranean Sea. And here we can see a very small strait. I will zoom it so that you can see. Okay, so here this is Atlantic and this is Mediterranean Sea. So here you can see a very small narrow channel of water that is connecting this to sea, Atlantic Ocean on one side and Mediterranean Sea on one side. So this narrow channel is called as strait. Very important concept, strait. Strait is nothing but a narrow passage of water which will be connecting two water bodies. So here we have Atlantic Ocean on one side and Mediterranean Sea on one side. So the name of this strait is Strait of Gibraltar. Very, very important. This strait is called as Strait of Gibraltar. So you may get a question is, which of the following strait connects Atlantic Ocean with Mediterranean Sea? That is Strait of Gibraltar. Okay. And if you see the important things in this Morocco, we have Atlas Mountains. Very, very important. Okay, we have Atlas Mountains here. So if you see what are the reasons why we came up with this agreement. So we are saying that we want to improve training, we want to improve industrial collaboration, and we want to improve to participate in this joint exercise, everything. So first one here is this MOU will be helpful for India to improve defense exports. So if you are making this kind of industry collaboration or defense collaborations, obviously there is a chance for India to export more to that country. So here we can improve our Atmanirbhar Bharat in this defense sector. So now we can export this defense related equipments to other countries. And next one here is both nations, they face common threats. So what are the threats? So if you are facing that threat, I am facing that threat, we both can sit together and we can talk about that. If you are having other problems, if I am having other problems, can we sit together and talk? No. So here India and Morocco also having the shared threats. What are those? Terrorism, and even they are having boundary with Atlantic Ocean and as well as Mediterranean Sea. India is also having Indian Ocean related boundary. We have Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal. So if you see geographically, we have maritime boundary. So in maritime boundary countries, what is the problem? Maritime insecurity. So terrorists, they can come from the sea routes. And next one here is we want to focus on collaboration in these two areas, like how to combat this terrorism and how to improve this maritime safety and security. And historically also we are sharing good partnership. Okay. And actually this defense agreement and defense modernization will be very helpful for India's target. What is the target? $5 billion target by 2030 in this defense. You have to make a note of this 2030, one more target added here. So what are the immediate outcomes of this agreement? So this agreement which enables joint military training, cyber security workshops, and even Morocco can participate in India's Milan naval exercise, and even we are going to produce around 100 wheeled armored platforms vehicles so that we can create around 350 local jobs for that. So that is also very helpful for improving of technology transfer. And as well as we are also focusing on enhancing of intelligence sharing. So if there is no sharing of information, we can't combat this cyber security. So here we are also focusing on intelligence sharing and operational planning as well. And you know this Sahara Desert, where it is located? Africa only, right? So here there was a question 2022 prelims that which of the following countries are not part of Sahel region. So actually wherever this Sahara Desert is there, it is the largest desert of the world, right? So actually it mainly spread in many countries. So the countries which is having the Sahara Desert is called as Sahel region. So this Sahel region is very famous for terror outfits, guys. Okay, we want to counter this terrorism in the Sahel region. It is also one important aim under this. So here you have to see in which countries this Sahara Desert is spread. Okay, that comes into Sahel region. It was 2022's prelims question, guys. Okay, and actually what are the implications here? So because of this memorandum of understanding, so here now we can influence or we can improve our influence in this North African region so that we can counter this Chinese Chinese Belt and Road Initiative, guys. And next one here is Morocco wants to reduce its reliance from NATO. Actually, this African country is very much near to Europe. So it can get equipments from the Europe, right? Actually, it wants to reduce its reliance on this European country. So it is providing one chance that India can occupy this space. And next one here is this partnership can also boost India's $25 billion African trade goal. So we're also having one goal of improving of trade with these African countries. So it is also very important for that. Okay. And now let us see the next article, see the title. 54 vessels are being built for Navy. 10 to join fleet this year. This article is talking about again defense production. So this article is important from which subject? Science and technology from GS paper 3, guys. So now let us see the context. So Indian Navy has an ambitious shipbuilding program. So under this shipbuilding program, we are designing around 54 vessels and they are under construction in our Indian shipyards now. And soon we are going to incorporate 10 ships by the end of December 2025. Okay. So if you see the details here, so here we are especially improving the development of frigates. You know these frigates, small ships, and we are going for anti-submarine warfare. So we are developing these two under this mission. What are the reasons why? Why? Because we want to focus on maritime security and we are coming up with this kind of agreements with other countries to improve maritime security. If you're not having weapons, how can we showcase our power? Yes, for that, of course, we need equipments. So for supporting of that, yes, we are providing that. And apart from that, if you see from maritime route, terror organizations or terrorists, they can reach India. And even we are having threats from Pakistan. And we want to counter this China's expansionist policy. For all those things, of course, we need our defense equipment strong. So that is a one region. And if you want to improve security in this Indian Ocean region, because there is increased importance for this Indo-Pacific region in the recent days. So if you want to improve the trade in this region also, we need to have this kind of equipments. And actually India came up with one program called as Sagar, and this full form is security and growth for all in the region. And they are focusing on improving of maritime security in this Indo-Pacific region. So for this also we need this kind of equipments. And even India is focusing on Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is something but self-reliant India, where we are focusing on improving of our defense equipments in our country. So from that point of view also it is very important. And not only security, but even whenever we are coming up with this kind of programs of developing of our defense technology in our country, obviously we can improve our manufacturing. We can create employment opportunities. And there is no need of depending on foreign countries. We can save our forex reserves. And also we can now export to other countries also. So in this way, overall it will be leading to the improvement of our country, growth and development of our country, and we can get this Viksit Bharat by 2047. Clear? So for these things, yes, we are doing all these things. And very important article of the day, see here, number of polluted river sites are showing a slight reduction, says CPCB. So what is this article talking about? So here if you see this image, what can you see? Water body nearby, garbage, plastic, whatever it may be. So actually most of our rivers in India are polluted. So what are the sources of pollution of rivers? Industrial effluents, directly releasing of this industrial waste into water, and sewage. You can see the smell of Musi. At least you can see the smell of this tank bund. If you go there, you can't bear, especially in winter season after 6 p.m. Next, yes, plastic pollution. And what are the waste? What we'll do? We'll dump. So recently we celebrated Vinayak Chauthi. So for 9 days we did like offered prayers to God like anything. We offered everything, and even we did everything whatever that is required. But at last what did we do? That idol, where we immerse that idol? In which water? That is a fate here. So even to immerse the idol in water, we don't have the fresh water. Rather than that, we are immersing in even drainage itself sometimes. I should not call like that, but it will hurt certain people's sentiments. But you can see tank bund, what is the issue which is going on here? The Ashoknagar people, they know clearly like what is that water, everything. Okay, so actually the problem here in India is most of our rivers had been polluted. So if that pollution happens, what happens? Is that good for the country? So actual rivers are the important source of drinking water. Rivers are the important source for agriculture, irrigation. Next, for industrial purpose. For everything, water is very important. If all these water stretches which are there in our India, if they are getting polluted, can people get pure drinking water? So earlier, if you have seen the old movies, how these people used to get the water, they used to go to nearby lake or river, and they carry the vessels and they just bring the water, right? So is that the position now? Can we drink that water directly? No. If you are drinking that water, again within 1 week you will be getting admitted in the hospital. Yes or no? So even just children are going for swimming in Kerala. What is happening for them? Brain eating amoeba, deadly disease, or loss in life. So here the problem in our country is pollution of water. So because of this, which organization will be taking care of? CPCB. So CPCB is nothing but Central Pollution Control Board. So actually CPCB came up with lots of programs regarding this control of pollution of rivers. So one famous program is, which is the largest river in India? River Ganga, right? So they came up with this program called as Namami Ganga. So that program led to drastic improvements in this quality of water in this river Ganga. So apart from that, in major stretches, like in major rivers, they also doing for this cleaning process. And even you can see in Hyderabad also we have this Musi river, right? And you can see nearby, if you go to Nagol area, Ambarpet area, you will come across that. So actually, our Hyderabad municipality is also taking lots of steps for cleaning of this river Musi. So wherever you can see, there are drives which are going on, that is cleaning of river Musi. So in the same way, in different areas, they are going for cleaning of these rivers. So because of these steps, yes, now at least some freshwater rivers that we can see. That is a report which is given by the CPCB now. So here CPCB says that there is a slight decline in polluted river stretches in India. So in 2022, we have 815. In 2023, we have 807 polluted rivers. And now we have around 271 rivers. So from 815 to now 271. There is a drastic change that we can see in the number. So here, what are the reasons? The reasons are the steps taken by this NGT, that is National Green Tribunal. And actually, National Green Tribunal pushed the states to implement action plans for river restoration in their states. And central government came up with some initiatives called as Namami Gange, which is mainly focused on improved sewage water treatment, and because of that they controlled sewage release into the water, and as well as direct release of agriculture effluents and as well as industrial effluents. Okay, but even though in some states like Kerala and Maharashtra we are having this problem of polluted water in the rivers. So what is the environmental impact because of this pollution? So what happens? It will leads to loss of aquatic life. Yes. And next one here is if that water is penetrating into the ground, that will also harm our groundwater reserves. Right. And even if there is increased pollution in the water, that will lead to algal blooms. So if you see some water bodies, they will be having lush green color plankton which is there on the water. That is nothing but algal bloom. It is algae. So when this algae will increase, whenever the nitrogen waste, phosphorus waste is increased in that water, that will support this algal bloom. Okay, if there is algal bloom, then we can say that that is having more nitrogen, more phosphorus. That is not fit for drinking or bathing or washing also. And next one here is it is threats. It will be threatening our biodiversity, and even coastal ecosystems will be getting affected, and especially it will lead to the impact on the fisheries, tourism, etc. Guys, if the water is not clean, if water is dirty, can we attract tourists in that area? Can we attract these migratory birds? Water bodies are very important to attract these migratory birds in certain seasons. So because if these migratory birds will come here, we people will go and to see them, so that will boost tourism here. If water is not clean, if these birds are not coming, can we improve tourism? No. It will also have impact on economy and even livelihoods of the people. And see this article, guys, the growing relevance of traditional medicine. What is this? Traditional medicine. In this yesterday's class, I think I said about one, yeah, in anthropology class, I said about one topic, like how we are blending traditional medicine with advanced technology and we are creating wonders. I said about red ivy plant, which is mainly used in Kerala. It is having anti-inflammatory property. So we are blending with nanotechnology and we are making patches. It will help us for fast recovery of our injuries. So actually India is very famous for this traditional medicine. That is nothing but Ayurveda. So which book which talks about this Ayurveda? Yes, Charaka Samhita. Okay, so from history onwards, from if you go back to ancient period, so India is very famous for Ayurveda or traditional medicines. So actually, till Britishers enter into India, so what are the medicine we have was Ayush. But after this, English came or English people came, so they introduced English medicine that is called as allopathic medicines. So actually, people they had been shifted to this allopathic medicine now, and even today also, whatever the medicines that we require for our body, which will be in our kitchen, but we'll always ignore them, and we will try to get the medicines outside. So actually, this article is saying that yes, nowadays there is increased relevance of traditional medicine. So if you can remember or recall, especially Telugu states people, they can recall this thing what I'm saying now. That is during COVID-19 pandemic, there was one person from AP, I guess. He made one chukkalamandu. So if you're dropping that at least 2 drops in the eyes, the saturation rate had been increased from 60 or 70 to 92 or 95. Do you know this? What is the name of that person? I can't recall right now. Do you got some idea like how this traditional? Do you know this at least? It was become very viral. Okay. So actually, this article is saying that there is increased fame or increased importance for this Ayurveda nowadays. Okay, so actually WHO also saying that around 194 countries which are the members of this WHO, 88% of countries they mainly depend on their traditional medicine for primary care. So actually I don't know whether you know this or not, whenever we get injuries in my childhood, so my grandfather used to take one leaf and he will be rubbing that and we'll be getting the green color juice from that leaves and they used to apply that. So it is called as Tridax plant. Tridax. Do you know this Tridax? Tridax. Ayyo. చూపించిన తర్వాత you say, oh, this like that. We used to also play a game with that. Yeah, this. I said no, this only. So actually they used to pick up this leaves and they used to rub this like that. You will be getting green color juice and they will apply to the wounds. In my childhood, I don't know whether you did it or not. You also, na? Okay, so with this plant also we used to play a lot. Okay. So actually at that time we used to depend more on. Okay. Okay, normally India is very famous for using of this traditional medicine, but nowadays what we are doing, we are leaving that tradition, we are moving towards allopathy. And even WHO is saying that 88% of this 194 member states, they rely on this traditional medicine for their primary care. And actually, because of this colonial rule in India, because of this Britishers, they came into India, we kept this traditional medicine on sideline. And actually, if you see industry of Ayush in India, it had been grew from 21,697 crore to 1.3 lakh crore by 24 to 2025. That means there is increased craze for this Ayurvedic medicines now. And globally also the target of India is we have to reach $583 billion by 2025. Actually, why? Because during this COVID-19, because of that one medicine which had become like very powerful thing to save the lives of people, now every country has started looking towards India. So because of this, there is a very high surge of this traditional medicine. And after that COVID-19 only, you can see like there is increased rush in this Ayurvedic centers. Do you know this? Yeah, even yoga also, people started believing yoga, and as well as they started using of traditional Ayurvedic medicine. We have herbal life centers in many areas, so there is increased rush to that herbal life rather than going to this pharmacies. Now people at least they are going towards this Ayurvedic centers to get their medicines. And what are the reasons why exactly there is a growing of relevance? Because these traditional medicines mainly focus on prevention and balance, and balance addresses by lifestyle diseases like especially diabetes and climate driven health issues. You are having good medicines. And next one here is WHO is also having a strategy 2025 to 2034, that is to integrate universal health coverage using AI and digital health, and in that they want to improve awareness about this Ayush to the people as well. And actually India also came up with 25 bilateral agreements and 52 institutional partnerships, and it is related to especially regarding this improvement of awareness about Ayurveda system of medicine. Okay, and if you see what are the health and social impacts, if you're using these traditional medicines, the cost will be comparatively very less compared to that of this English medicine, and even everyone knows about that, because if you get cough, just take this. In Telugu, we'll call it as vamu. In Ajwin, I think so. So we can take this Ajwin, and if you keep that in your mouth, you'll be getting some relief from that cough. So here the cost will be decreased, and we can also address the mental health, and even the side effects will be very low because they are commonly seen in our kitchen. And next one here is obviously we can also support millions of jobs in this plant driven pharmaceutical supply chains now if you are promoting this kind of medicines. Okay, and also we can preserve around 20,000 medicinal species so that we can achieve our sustainable development goal target, that is regarding the health of the people. Okay, so these are some important articles that happened in our today's Hindi newspaper. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching, and please do like this class and share this class, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy, and you can follow us on our Instagram, where we are providing prelims question with answer, mains question with model answer, and also current affairs in short. And if you want to get this PDF of this class, you can join our Telegram channel. Link is given in description box. Thank you guys.